Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. Super excited to finish our series on Jesus as our provision. Jesus provides. We've talked about Jesus bringing healing, Jesus providing resources, food, Jesus providing healing and clarity, and for there's confusion, all kinds of cool things that Jesus provides. And today we're looking that Jesus provides hope. Hope. I love this. And I was thinking about this in terms of Luke chapter 7, verses 11 through 15. And it's interesting because Jesus was walking through this village, coming up to a village, and the village was called Nain, N-A-I-N. And there was a funeral processional. There was a widow, and her son had died. And her son was in a casket. And they were carrying out the casket to bury him in the graveyard. And Jesus comes along and sees this, and he stops the procession. And he basically raises this widow's son, the body, in the casket. He raises him from the dead. Can you imagine being in that funeral procession and you're like, what just happened? This guy gets out of the casket and starts walking around. That's a little unsettling and disturbing. But to this widow, it's super powerful because that resurrection gave her hope in a future. Because in history at this time, for a woman, if you were a widow, then you were hopeful that your kids, your son, would look after you and provide and protect you and kind of be a resource and a covering for you. So when she lost her son, she lost, in some respects, hope in a future. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? And I love that Jesus comes alongside, raises her son from the dead, because Jesus is our provider. He gives us hope and a future. And I think, too, this is super helpful. If you remember, Jesus also provides truth. He's our beacon, our kind of pendulum of truth. Instead of swinging from one extreme to the other, Jesus is the truth, the way, the truth, and the life. And I say this because even Peter, well-intentioned, trying to do all the right things and good motives, but even Peter tries to stop Jesus from going to Jerusalem and doing the cross. And Jesus confronts him and says, Peter, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're not of me. You're absolutely siding with the deceiver, with the lack of truth, and with the enemy. And what Jesus does is he provides truth, and we need that. We need that in our lives because the culture, the world that we live in, is very shady and unclear, and truth is very kind of transient concept. But Jesus is our truth because he's our provision. So I just encourage you today, let's let Jesus be our provision in health, in healing, in hope, in truth, for the future, for confusion where there's a lack of clarity. Let's let Jesus be our all in all, our all-sufficiency, and let's let him be fully and thoroughly our fundamental source. Source for everything. Source for life, encouragement, hope, finances, resources, provisions, healing, all across the board. Jesus is our provider. So I just encourage you, thank you so much for watching. Love to get your feedback. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Love to have you subscribe. Please subscribe. Pass this on to your friends. It's short, sweet, and super helpful, I think, because it keeps us on target with what God has in our lives. So thanks for your feedback. And next week we start a new series. And I'm not telling you what it is. You just have to wait and see because it'll be super, super fun. And we got a joke to finish. Now, some of these jokes I have to give a shout out to my friend in Cambodia. She helped me with some of these jokes. We were in the tuk-tuk, and I tell you, it was a fat pitch. She gave me all these phenomenal jokes, and I love sharing them with you. So here's your joke. If you have 66 sheep and 5 die, how many are left? 55. Because it's 60 sick, like ill, unhealthy sheep. If 5 die, then you only have 55 left. I get it. You're like, it's not really a joke. No, but it definitely makes you think a little bit. 60. Anyways, you're like, we'll come back and try harder next week because, Sarah, that was pretty lame. I agree, but it can only get better. Lots of good puns in the future. Thanks again for watching. We'll continue a brand new series next week. Thanks again.